Announcement of discontinuation of online services for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software. Thank you very much for your continued support of our products. As of 8th of April 2024, online play and other functionality that use online communication will end for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software. This also includes online cooperative play, internet rankings, and data distribution. Please note that if an event occurs where it would make it difficult to continue online services for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software, we may have to discontinue services earlier than expected. We sincerely thank players for using the online services of Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software through a long period of time, and apologies for any inconvenience. Well, looks like we're having fun for one final time, once again. Here we are again, and that was one arduous journey to try and record all this because, well, with multiple games being Dr. Luigi, the Pokemon games, and it could have been worse with Iron Fall Invasion. In fact, I thought that was going to be like a quote-unquote last episode like what we had with Super Street Fighter 2, the new challenges on Wii Virtual Console Sega Mega Drive, because that was a Virtual Console game it had online, and because that was completely obscure, it must have passed everybody by. But it was trying to replicate something that the Mega Drive had, and used Wi-Fi connection to redo that on the Wii. It was interesting, but yeah, this was our sequel series of basically doing the exact same thing that we did for Wii and DS when the Wi-Fi connection was ending for Pretendo Network. And yeah, well, it's basically over now, and I don't think it's as bad or as sad as it was with Wi-Fi connection, because when that went down, there was no replacement until afterwards with Reconnect 24, which not only restores Wi-Fi connection with fan-made servers, but it also restores the functionality of Wii Connect 24, hence the name. Similar to how when Miiverse on the 3DS and Wii U, and to some extent with the Switch and mobile phones died off, a replacement was already being made called Pretendo Network, and the name was thought of in preparation for Nintendo Network dying off, because once that is down, that will be how you use both Nintendo Network with fan-made servers plus Miiverse. They've remade Miiverse. But it's kind of funny how that with WiiConnect 24 going first, they nicknamed it Reconnect 24, but Miiverse died off first, and they didn't call it that, they just called it Pretendo Network. I guess it flowed better. But I wanted to make mention of that right now, because I think that is probably one of the main reasons why we weren't encountering as many people as we thought, because people have already modded their 3DSs in order to continue playing without region locking, looking at you, Zelda Triforce Heroes, where you can only do regional. There's no option to go worldwide, but Pretendo Network does not have that, which is pretty nifty. So the entire world is your player base instead of just your little neck in the woods. But yeah, it was kind of a shambles with the Pokemon games, which ate up a lot of time, as well as the fact that Smash 4 on 3DS was kind of broken. But we will get into that, because unlike before, where I only glanced over a bunch of DS games, because at the time I couldn't record DS properly, I had to skip Soul Silver because I couldn't record the 3DS very well, and I already did Black and White 2 as separate videos, and this time I did Alpha Sapphire and X as a singular video, because it's not a part 1, part 2 sort of thing, it's the same generation just in different regions, and I had one team for every mode, which kind of made the video decent, but that still took 2 hours worth of recording to get done. And then we also had Pokemon Sun, where I just could not get into a Battle Royale, which is the only unique mode, so I ended up having to do a single battle. But if you think about it, Battle Royale was a free-for-all against 4 players that can potentially team up and knock you out anyway, and it's treated as a 4-way single battle. So that was kind of a consolation there. And of course, other games such as Metro Prime Hunters could not cover, because 1, I didn't have it, and 2, couldn't record it very well because I needed both hands. Unlike with the Pokemon games where I could just do it one-handed and just press buttons on the touchscreen. Technical issues aside, in terms of that series, where we didn't actually have that many in terms of connectivity, we had a lot in this particular series, and it really bogged things down. And I, funnily enough, have a lot of games that I need to cover in this video as like a overview more than anything else. But not only that, certain modes as well, and reasons why I didn't cover certain games, unlike on the Wii and DS, because there is a lot more to cover than expected, and most of it's on the 3DS as well. Good thing I have a capture device. But funnily enough, we ended up with the exact same amount of content, video-wise, as we did for Wi-Fi connection, which was not intended, but kind of worked out. We would have had an additional video, but again, I will get to that. So there's going to be a lot of timestamps in this video, and I'm going to be splitting these into categories. So we've got a lot to go through, so let's go through. Starting off with the games that I skipped that I could have covered. And the one I've mentioned a couple of times in the last few videos is Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. Now, I have actually recorded gameplay of this, but there was not a lot of content to show off unless I went into some battles. But there's no online capability for playing with others. And I'm probably going to be chopping up the footage as well to match up what I'm saying here, or not, depending on how long I go on for. But basically, Team Kirby Clash Deluxe operates like a mobile game, but not in the way you expect. You get your daily Apple Gems every 12 hours, so those are your premium currency in the game, which we will get into in a bit. But the main online feature is getting Wandering Kirbys. Basically, you connect online, you get a choice of 3 random player Kirby builds, and then when you have them, they become your AI-controlled party members for the game. And that's it. You get the exact same thing if you pass by certain people with Street Pass. You get their Kirby builds as AI-controlled party members. That's just the local option instead of the online option. When it comes to the Apple Gems, you do have... well, you did have microtransactions to buy more, but since you can't buy anything on the eShop anymore, or even before the servers went off, that's no longer a feature, so you can only get the dailies and other rewards for connecting with other people, either through Street Pass or through online, or by just playing the game. And the premium currency is used to get equipment like armor and weapons, which is also a daily thing. Spend gems to get a randomly generated AI-controlled party member of a Kirby build. So it's just having AI-controlled party members. It's just, where do you get it from? Do you get it from the game's random pool? Or do you get it from someone that you passed by? Or do you get it from someone who you didn't pass by, but got it randomly through online? That's really all it is. That's the entirety of it. And that wasn't really going to fill a video. And even if I did a boss battle, that would take, what, 2 minutes as well? Not really worth it. So we'll stick it in here during the overview because it's quite small. Plus, the game was also a free download, which the eShop will not be available once this server shuts down anyway, and we'll see how that reacts when we try to boot in later on this video. Next up, Super Mario Maker. I didn't actually choose custom creator courses myself. I just went into a 100 Mario challenge in order to earn a random amiibo costume, which you will also lose the feature because it obviously has to access the servers in order to pull 8 to 16 to 32 custom courses, plus more if you skip in order to actually go through those, so you can only do the built-in 96 courses. And therefore, if you want to get the amiibo costumes, you're going to have to buy them. Which there's 160 of them. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Technically, I already covered that in the video that I made, which was pretty fun. But what I'm mentioning here is a little update to the uncleared courses. They are now all cleared. Trimming the Herbs was uploaded via tool-assisted speedrunning means. A human being didn't actually complete the level properly to upload it, so it technically is illegitimate, but it can still technically be beaten, and it has now been beaten 2 days before the server shut down on the 6th of April 2024. I'll have the link in the card and in the description below. Someone actually beat it legitimately 2 days before end date. That is absolutely insane, and that means that Super Mario Maker is now truly 100% completed server side, which is good because whoever has actually beaten those levels will have that marked on their account. Congratulations being part of the 0.1% completion of that level. No one can take that away from you. And the video that we could have had, but unfortunately didn't happen, was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Now, apparently, This game was available on the Wii as well, and did have exclusive missions via Wi-Fi connection, but I'm not a Monster Hunter fan, I haven't played the games, I didn't even know that was a thing, so it didn't really warrant mentioning anyway at the time, but now it does, because it is a Wii U and 3DS exclusive in terms of free Ultimate, and again, for both Wii U and 3DS, online exclusive missions will no longer be accessible. However, the Wii U version has a bonus, and that actually allows you to play with other people in order to go monster hunting. And the plan is that Ursica was going to come along and record some gameplay of that for us. Unfortunately, due to personal issues I'm not going to get into, that didn't happen. And it's not that big of an issue anyway, because every feature other than the exclusive missions, obviously, that is in the game, like the co-op multiplayer, is available on other iterations, on other games, on other platforms. And knowing Capcom, they'll probably port free Ultimate to the PC at some point for like £20 or something. Not that that's confirmed, but I'm pretty sure all the other games in the numbered entries are everywhere else. I mean, people are still hoping for Xenoblade X to get ported, so who knows at this point. And now for modes or options skipped from the games that we have covered. Starting off with Smash Brothers for 3DS specifically. If you have watched the video, you would have noticed that the latest update of the game, 1.1.7, somehow conflicts with the current 3DS firmware from 2021 onwards, not allowing the game to load, and it won't even shut down correctly unless you completely turn your system off by holding down the button. Because of that, I couldn't show any 3DS gameplay other than booting up the demo, but the demo doesn't allow you to play online. It would have been nice if you could have just played online and do basic matches, like for fun, because it is just infinite stock 2 minutes, which is basically what the demo allows you to do while playing the game normally. But because it wasn't online, I couldn't show it. But all the features are exactly the same as they are on Wii U, so we recorded the Wii U version. And the video up until near the end, while I was talking about the 3DS version in particular, the whole entire video was unedited. So that was just to show that that version of the game has problems where you can't even get past the title screen, or in some people's cases, get into a battle and then it freezes. The offline version of the game is not compatible. And they're not going to update the firmware to make sure that that game is compatible now that the whole entire system's online features are shutting down. But that should have been something that they should have been looking into, because it makes a game completely unplayable even offline. Then again, Smash Ultimate exists, which is basically Smash for Wii U and 3DS, but with literally everything and then some, and the physics are, for the most part, quite similar. The only thing you're losing is Twilight Princess Link. And I also mentioned this in the Dr. Luigi video with Dr. Mario Miracle Cure. Basically the same game, but without Miracle Cure. Miracle Cure, as I put on screen during that video, gives you a bunch of random effects that you would expect puzzle games to have that Dr. Mario was actually lacking, like clearing all of a particular colour of virus, or giving the other player junk, stuff like that. But if you turn off the Miracle Cure option, which I'm pretty sure you can do, Dr. Luigi is the exact same game, because Dr. Mario Miracle Cure has the Dr. Luigi Operation L mode, which was first introduced in Dr. Luigi, which was a Year of Luigi special, and ironically enough, in that very video, I couldn't even show off that without going against computer. But I also did the Flash mode to see what it was like, because I never played it before, and it made the game super quick, so yeah, that stretched the video to 13 minutes. It's funny, really. It's Dr. Luigi, yet people only want to play Dr. Mario. Rude. Now for games that we have skipped completely, as the features or the game itself is available elsewhere via remakes or ports. First up with Mario Kart 7 Battle Mode. Couldn't actually do any battle modes due to the unstable hacked online that we experienced during our live stream of both Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 to show off all the features that Sublinkario mostly hosted, and I had major troubles. I mean, we kept on bumping into item spamming hacked players on Mario Kart 7 Racing, and every time we tried to load into a battle mode, it just didn't want to load. We couldn't even get into the menu to choose what battle mode we wanted to do. And for Mario Kart 8, we didn't do the racing, because the battle mode on that game is racing battles, which is unique to that version of the game only. So the rest of the series has a battle mode where you're in a square area with multiple different modes, and you can, you know, play in the sandbox sort of thing. You have coin matches, you have balloon matches, you have bob-on matches, you have, in some games, shine runners where you have to grab the shine and keep a hold of it and for as long as possible, and if you have the most time holding onto it, you win. Stuff like that. Mario Kart 8 original on the Wii U didn't have that. It was just balloon battle on racetracks, so it didn't even have original battle arenas. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did bring that mode back with its own original areas, plus remakes of other areas from previous games, as you would expect, and it had all the battle modes. That's why we didn't cover that on Mario Kart 8 for Wii U, and that's why we didn't cover battles on Mario Kart 7, because it literally wouldn't let us. Also, the main difference between Deluxe and the original Wii U version in terms of racing, which can also apply in battles, but mostly in racing, is that other than all the kart pieces having slightly different stats, same with the characters, the main basic difference is that you hold 2 items instead of 1, and you have a pink level 3 drift boost instead of the level 2. Other than that, all the stages are exactly the same, but with more content on there from all the included DLC of the Wii U version, plus more upon release, and more DLC on top of that, so just play it on Switch. Plus, bigger player base. Luigi's Mansion 2 was a bigger mission, but that's because it's literally coming to the Switch within a couple of months, and it most likely will have all of its features there. So, kind of redundant on covering the 3DS version, which tends to be a little buggy sometimes. Even if that wasn't the case of the port of Luigi's Mansion 2 for Nintendo Switch not having its online features, similar online features are available in Luigi's Mansion 3, even though the Poltergeist Goo works slightly differently to the Poltergeist 5000 in Luigi's Mansion 2. And now for the big one! Animal Crossing New Leaf. That's a very big game that we didn't cover. That's because we actually do not have it. However, the online features allow you to visit other players' islands and play with other people, including on the Mystery Island. That's available in New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. So basically any feature you can think of is probably on the sequel. So that didn't happen. Also, Master Aaron would have probably covered it if he did have it, because he plays New Horizons on Switch. But again, we didn't have the game, and almost all the features, I'm pretty sure, are available on Switch. And now for games not covered due to early shutdowns ahead of the Pretendo Network's discontinuation end date. First of all, we have a game that I actually played quite a bit, and I'm kind of annoyed that it died so early, was Lost Reavers, and I played the early beta of it as well, which unfortunately didn't transfer your data over, which is why I haven't opted into the Kingdom Hearts Missing Links beta, because I don't want to be playing the same bit again. Thank you, Union Cross. The Lost Reavers servers were discontinued on the 30th of May 2019, so yeah, that's 5 years earlier than originally predicted. So that's a little bit of a problem right there. We also have Steel Diver Subwars, which was a free-to-start game with downloadable content packs to play more of the game, but you could access online without needing to pay for the game. Very similar to Ironfall Invasion, which we were successfully able to get into a battle with. Unfortunately, the Steel Diver Subwars servers went down into maintenance since the 4th of September 2023, and they never came out of maintenance and were just outright discontinued on the 24th of January 2024. So it was down for 4 months, and then it was just cancelled. So technically it died on the 4th of September 2023. So if I wanted to cover this game, I would have had to do it pretty much a year in advance. And finally, and I do have the separate download of this, Metroid Prime Blast Ball. The separate download version was discontinued to the servers on the 31st of December 2016. Think of it as Rocket League, but in first-person shooter mode. You're in your mechs, you have the same control schemes that you would have in Metroid Prime Federation Force, which is a game that I do not own at all, and for good reason. It's Federation Force. It's not what we wanted at the time, which also has online 4-player co-op and battle modes, including Blast Ball as a separate mode. It's kind of like how the Kirby games had separate modes that were basically just their own separate titles, and funnily enough, every single time you get a Kirby game on the system, it has an option that allows you to browse what other Kirby games exist on the system, because there were so bloody many. Which I guess is a good segue, since we are in games that I couldn't cover since none of us own them, is Kirby Battle Royale, which was a 4-player 3D top-down minigame collection. Kind of looks similar to Blowout Blast, which is the 3D land of Kirby, and 3D World would be Forgotten Land. But guess what? I was ecstatic for Forgotten Land, didn't know about Blowout Blast. You know why? Because it was too much Kirby, and it just passed me by. But yes, this was like a mini-game collection that was 3D top-down, and you just choose an ability and fight, similar to you do with the previously mentioned Team Kirby Deluxe. You choose an ability and you go from there and you upgrade with equipment. But the way that you use the power-ups in a 3D space is kind of like the combat basis for how power-ups in Forgotten Land are used on Switch, except for, you know, taking damage and then losing the ability. You don't do that. But I want to make mention of that because I know somebody else will, and funnily enough, came out about 2 months before Star Allies released on Switch, so even more Kirby on top of that, within a quarter of a year. So, as I mentioned, Kirby goes nuts on 3DS. And for the last 2 games I want to make mention is, well, I guess a collection of 3 or 4, or even more than that because there were multiple versions of 2 and Blasters, is Yokai Watch 2, 3, and Blasters. For Yokai Watch 2, and in particular 3 as well, it's basically like Pokemon you can battle and trade. Yokai Watch I haven't mentioned really because you can only do trading and be on leaderboards. Now, I know I covered Spectrobe's origins mostly for their leaderboards because that was the only online thing, but no one talks about Spectrobes, and funnily enough that got onto a wiki. Plus I had the game. I don't have any of the Yokai Watch games at all. And for Yokai Watch Blasters, it's a top-down real-time strategy game akin to what I can only assume is League of Legends. Or maybe Diablo. I might be wrong about that, but from first glance of what I can see, I'm going by Pokemon Unite, and I've been told that was quite similar to something along the lines of League of Legends. Obviously not as in-depth or big, but that's the impression I get. But those are all the games that I couldn't cover, as none of us own them. And we haven't included any sports games or games available on other systems like ports and remakes, because even if their services are ending here, they're still available elsewhere. I'm not really big into sports games. Again, Mario Sports Mix was the exception because it was made by Square Enix and it was a bit unique, and it also had multiple different ones and they played a little bit differently. And since it was once again a unique game similar to Spectrobe's Origins, I wanted to cover it. And funnily enough, I was struggling to find games that actually had certain abilities, and I also had more time to make them at the time, and it was still active. That's the most important thing. Pretendo Network stealing everybody. But because, as I mentioned earlier, since Miiverse died well ahead of Nintendo Network shutting down, a replacement was already being made ahead of time, which a lot of people have probably already moved on to, especially of the new 3DS, because since getting modded systems isn't easy to capture footage on these days, you would be wanting to mod a new 3DS so you can use the online streaming service that custom firmware provides in order to share your gameplay. So that is it for the recaps here. As I said, that was a lot more, pretty much the bulk of this video, unlike before with Nintendo Wi-Fi connection ending. But we're going to hop into a couple of things to see how they react now that the store has ended. I was going to do that before, back then, but all the games would have said the same thing because it was more rudimentary. Games function differently, as we have seen. Some games, like Kid Icarus Uprising, don't say that you're connecting. But what about Badge Arcade? What about the stores? How would they react when you try to go in? Can you still at least download updates on like some sort of pass-through server? Who knows? That's what we're going to find out before we end off. We are on the brink. Just over 5 minutes. I just realised that my system timer is not set to daylight savings because we're in British Stupid Time, not GMT anymore. But it's still only 5 minutes away from midnight. I only just realised that as I was just enjoying this video. Oh, I'm so professional. Now, I'm booting in right now to sign in, just to see if the bunny has anything to say, knowing that it's his last day having his shop open. It'll be nice if it downloads some new text boxes that say that he acknowledges the fact that the doors are closing. And look at the date here for just one moment. The Nintendo Badge Arcade, released in the year 2014. This is 2024. This shop's been open for 10 years. Let that sink in. And the reason why I wanted to at least leave a few minutes is because this takes a while to load, as we've had before. So I will be cutting ahead, since it did download stuff. It could take a bit. It's connecting again. It always has to do it twice, I've noticed. I might have trimmed that down, as I said. But yes, I wanted to start this off by actually connecting for the final time moments before it goes offline. And then when they pull the plug, we'll see what happens when how the game reacts. And then we'll go to other games, like Icarus Uprising, and see what happens there. But there's obviously a few games that I want to go back and try out as well. So we'll see what happens. Put a coin in. There it is. This music is so jazzy. At least you'll be able to hear this every time you boot it up and not press the A button. But it has a timer when you press the A button, and it won't let you in. In fact, I want to... and it won't let you in. And I actually want to see what happens if we try to enter the doors that it can't connect. Would it just not let us in? Or would it give us a message saying that the servers are now offline, the store is now closed or something? Alright. Hey ya! Good to see you again today. Let's have a good time, alright? Oh, you don't say anything? Seriously? You don't say anything? Oh, the on-screen timer in the actual store is more accurate. As I said, my my system clock I never set to daylight savings, which I don't think penalises you for certain things online, which could lock me off from going in here, so I'm glad I didn't actually do that, but... yeah, I'm just going to play a little bit of this and see what happens when it clocks over. Yep, this is how I'm spending my final moments. And it's the same machine every time. We had this in our video. Okay, I've got my badges. Now, during that, I actually got an orange light, which means one of my friends on my friend list is online. That's going to go as well. And even though we kind of briefly covered that during our video while playing this before, I want to actually go check that out really quick before we get kicked out, because we won't see that either. And this is all, like, system level. Oh, we got, like, 2 minutes. Can I press home? Will you let me? You won't let me do it during these, will you? Alright, we gotta grab something quick. Let's get the axe. Let me ask you a question. Will I be able to grab this in time and check my friend list? I got... oh, I could have got 2 at once. Well, that ain't happening. That would have been a nice surprise. Oh well. That's my last play. My truly last play. Except for that 90 pence that's going to be lost forever. Yep, I can't do that. Don't offer me. That's probably why this dude can't stay in business, because we literally cannot pay for his services. Okay, it's 23.58 right now. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm going to do it really quick. Go in. It's flashing. Who's online right now? Oh, it's Linkario. She's playing Mario Kart 7 before it finishes. She's having her final network battles. I guess I'm just going to hang with him in the here. Something I can help him with? I just want to say goodbye, mate. I'm very sorry about this. I don't think you even had your notice. You didn't get your pink slip. Sorry, that was bad taste. But, yeah. I've got all my badges, so I'm good. See you, mate. I can't come back! Don't do it to me! Oh my god, look at the timer. 23:59. It says 4 PM. PDT or something? It says that in America or something it's going to end at like 4 PM. That's midnight for us. I'm still in here. Play again tomorrow. I can't. How do I, what do I do? What do I do? Check collection? Yeah, 4 PM PDT is just gone now. British summertime, BST. So they should have pulled the plug. But I'm still in here. Just vibing with this guy. I'll just keep checking the friend list, dang it. Unless it's in a bit of a frozen state. They were glowing yellow before, but now it's just orange. Let's try accessing the themes. That would let me know. I'm still able to enter. Oh, hang on. Has it happened? Was there just a delay? Oh, I think it might have happened. That's loading way too long for a bunch of themes. Ah ha ha! I think it's happened. Yeah, I think it's locked up. To be fair, if I never leave the store, I'm good, right? I think I'm gonna have to leave and try to enter again. Oh, it hung for a second there. I don't know what's going on. Can we enter? I'm still connected, what? I guess you can't download themes anymore because the store's just not allowing purchases. So there you go, you can't download anything. So maybe that has nothing to do with it. Everything has told me that there is this time. Even if I've translated multiple different websites' times, it definitely says midnight. Like, I'm on the 9th of April right now. Okay, so Pixel Games is, at the time of me recording this, still streaming Splatoon 1 online on the WiiU, which, funnily enough, is a game I want to go check for. See what the Squid Sisters say when you try to boot up the game when you're not connected. Do they actually say anything, or do they just say story-related stuff? But Linkario's still playing Mario Kart 7, and yeah, we're still online, so this is pretty weird. Is there like some sort of delay? Are the servers that jank that they can't just pull the plug? Like, what's going on?
11 minutes later.
I've been sitting here for practically 20 minutes, and nothing's happened. If anything is even supposed to happen. Like, if I lose connection, will it kick me out? That's what I want to know. I didn't think this was going to take this long, and I wasn't expecting to sit here waiting for the end, and then being late for it.
20 minutes later.
Okay. BST and GMT. It's a bitch. We were an hour off. And when we moved into BST, we went an hour backwards. The timer didn't. It's still 1. Time zones are a bitch. Okay. Should be the final minute. I've been waiting an hour to see what this bunny will do. If he himself will get kicked out without any notice. Or he is and he's just feigning ignorance by just having a good time to the very end. Look at him. Look at him wiggling. Dancing. Makes me want to dance as well. But yeah. I have all my badges. That's not a problem. It's clocked over. Right, now. What's going to happen? Do I need to cause the game to load or something? What happens if I go in? No? 3 in the morning tomorrow. Yeah. About that. You're going to close down in about any second now. Here's the thing though, I don't even know if it'll kick me out unless it's a actual store closing time. But I would assume that's because the servers have to download the new data because it's rolled over. I'm not even too sure it's an active connection or if you will actually get kicked out, but I need to know this. I've spent an hour for this research.
11 minutes later.
Will this bunny even kick me out or not? Do I have to... If I never close it... Well, no, because when it hits free, he will kick me out just because it's time for the store to close to refresh, and that's when it'll have to download new data. But I can't stay up for another 2 hours. But will he kick me out because there's a change in the servers, or it needs a constant connection? I don't know, because I'm technically in there, so downloads don't need to happen right now. I think I need to try and re-enter. I'm going to chance it. Let's try entering again. Well, sign me in. Ah, okay. I could have been sitting in there for like 2 more hours before it would have forcefully kicked me out for the refresh. So that means that bunny is locked in there and he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Dang. Yeah, you have to connect in order to get in. This is dead. I feel like they should have had one more download, saying, like, with a little cutscene saying that, thank you for all your patronage and thank you for coming along and all that. That's pretty uneventful. I waited an hour for that. Jesus Christ. Well, at least I can move on to the other games now. One thing I didn't do on the 3DS, like an idiot, is check out the eShop. Now, obviously you got to sign in so you can download your stuff, so maybe this is one of the last things to go, so you can download your stuff as late as possible. Maybe. Unless that feature is still staying for whatever reason, like everything else Nintendo Network related is gone except for that, but it's going to attempt to sign me in, so it actually did sign me in. Hello? You can see the timer in the corner of the screen there. Remember, that's supposed to say 1:29. I didn't turn off the, I didn't change the timer to be more accurate. We're still in here, what? Like, surely this would run out of time when I get to the WiiU version. Settings. Re-downloadable software? Still able to. It's all here. I mean, maybe this will disappear, but right now I can still access it, which is intriguing. It won't let me back up for a second. So the Badge Arcade ended before the store. Interesting. Even though it's technically a storefront. The bunny has been locked in there forever. Wait, hang on a minute. Still got someone appearing in my friend list? That went offline for a bit. Wait. Friend list is still functioning? I don't care about friend codes at this point. They're not going to be usable. That's interesting. Because about half an hour ago, that actually died. And yet you can still say, I guess this is still functioning. Intriguing. That took way too long, and now it's late, and now I have to keep it down, and this is a problem for me, because, well, let's test out this one, because this is the one that I've been actually waiting to test the most. Do we get bots? Because it doesn't actually say that we connect. So let's go together really quick. See, look, we just go straight in. There's, like, no Nintendo Network connection screen like you normally would have, and that's when it would give you the error message, because you can't connect. So let's go far away. With anyone. Oh wait, maybe it's here. Maybe this is the check. Oh no. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a check here. This might be a problem. Unless it still lets me choose even after the fact. So it can still have bots. I'm pretty sure it gives you bots if you don't actually connect to anybody when the timer runs out. I swear it did in my free-for-all match. Also, Sakurai has mentioned he wants this ported. I think I mentioned that during the actual video of this, but, you know. This is taking longer than I thought. Wow, I might have to cut. Oh! Oh, there we are. Yep. Ah, so it won't actually let me fight with bots. That's a shame. So it probably does give you bots to fill out the room. But that's if you can connect to begin with. Oh, that's a shame. Well, at least you can do it with, Actually, wait, does that still connect? Well, it's going to say offline completely, but I can create room. No, nope, it's going to come up with the same issue. Ah, well, it was worth a shot. I'm kind of disappointed with that, actually, because I'm pretty sure the feature for bots is there, but you're just not able to access the mode. This is what I was most curious about, but there is one other game that I'm curious about, and it's not the next one I'm going to do, but the one after. Let's head to the Wii U. There it is. Oh, well, there we are. So now it's giving me a different error message, and that's the one we got from Nintendo Badge Arcade. So maybe this game was just on the cusp of ending, and it got turned off in the midst of me connecting. Oh boy. Well, that confirms it. This is gone. What? Ah, there we are. Wait, no information about this title in particular. That's not what I clicked it for. Oh. Oh shit. What? Oh, we can still download software? It's still a thing? Huh, okay. Interesting. I like I still have a watch list and I can't use anything. How did I get in here? That can't be right. I want to see what happens if we even access the course world, because if we can't do that, then literally we can't even check our stats. We'll literally be stuck with the 96 built-in courses. And I just want to see how that looks. Takes longer than I expected to get in there. Right, so... Oh, whoops. Let's go to create. No, wait, that's the wrong one. I need to go to Course World. That's the one. You'd think I would know. Yeah, this is where it's going to try and get messages, but there it is. So that's an error message. It's going to kick me out of this. It actually does. Oh my god, that's a whole menu you can't access. Can we... Let's go to create real quick. Okay, so we can still access all of our stuff down here, but we can't actually access our own stats from that is normally available in the course world. You know what I mean? Notifications. Well, that all stays. Costumes, we can check those, that's fine. Options. So literally no way on actually accessing our stats. What did I just click? Oh, I just clicked refresh apparently. Because the thing is, you go into here, and I want to press minus to check my stuff, but I can't even do that. It just blocks us off from doing it. Wow, okay. So we're just completely barred off from that screen entirely. I mean, fair enough, don't load any stages, but at least let me look at my stats. God damn it. I mean, I guess it has to be saved to the server, because if you get the game for the 3DS, you'd have the same progress if you looked into the same network ID. So, that makes sense. Because Mezza's got work earlier than I have for tonight, he lent me his Wii U so I can cover this at the time. Plus, oh, as I said, I was watching Pixlr stream the game, and the online service did actually die at this point about 40 minutes ago, roundabout. I would say more like half an hour. But I want to know if the Squid Sisters say anything, and yes, I made sure that it's connected to my internet. I went into the settings to make sure that was changed. It's not my system. And I would assume that the total screen would have shown up at this point with it already loaded, but I'm guessing because it's trying to find information, it couldn't load. Oh, hang on. Do they actually have stuff to tell us? Syncopolis news time. There's no more stages. Bluefin Depot, and then it's, oh, what's it called? Moray Towers, yeah. So, the rotation's still currently going, but you can't play online anymore, I'm assuming. I'm just kind of skipping through this. So, they say that... Do they just keep airing their latest broadcast? Is that what it is? I mean, there's still people here. Are these also previously loaded? Like, does it hold the previous data so it doesn't look empty and unpopulated when you're not connected? I assume that's the case. I'm going to have to pop in here to find out. Aha! Here we go. Just entering this room. Ah, there we go. So, the Squid Sisters show their latest broadcast, and the plaza saves the last people that you actually had connected with so it doesn't look empty. So, this version of Inkopolis Plaza is frozen in a state of time. Funnily enough, kind of like normal offline games in that respect, but obviously these are actual players online, just in an offline state. That's actually intriguing. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be an empty plaza and the Squid Sisters just mention the latest thing you do in story mode, since that's an offline mode, and that is literally it. Like, you cannot even enter this tower anymore. So that means you can't even... Well, you can technically see your stats here, but... Yeah, you can't do that anymore. That's... That, funnily enough, this was actually more interesting than, Kid Icarus Uprising. Which is a little bit of a shame, but yeah, that's... I've got nothing else to show, really. So that's it. That's the end of Nintendo Network. I would like to thank Lady Lincario, Ursica, Master Aaron, and Connor Meza for helping out on this, once again, big immortalization project of features that we would have lost online to the best of our ability. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe look into Pretendo Network. I know I keep mentioning it, and I know that Lady Lincario kept saying I don't like to mention it until it's actually over, but people have already moved on, and technically I was talking about it in the terms of Miiverse, which segues into replacing it, and I know I keep going on about it, but at the same time, with my still most popular video on the channel being WiiConnect 24 ending, I mean, it's died down now since, but a lot of people kept saying WiiConnect 24 exists. I didn't know that at the time. The video was made before that existed. Or at least before it was announced, or covered in big detail. I'm not saying that I'm mad about it, because comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, but at the same time, it's like, if someone said it, not everybody has to. Plus, that video is old and grainy and really shoddily made, and I'm still surprised that it is my most popular video, considering I've done way more better stuff since then, which is insane. But yeah, that's the end of this series, so I'll see you guys for whatever I do next. And let's hope Nintendo Switch Online lives on and, you know, potentially has a rebrand for when the next system comes along, because you can't call it Nintendo Switch Online if the next system that uses it has a different name. Why not rebrand that as the new Nintendo Network? Just an idea.